Hi, I'm Alex who makes potions. Recently, the video update is relatively slow because with my colleagues in the company, we spend some time in Indonesia. What about the market in Indonesia? Much like in the early days of our domestic reform and opening up, its industrial development is not perfect. Why do you say that Indonesia's industry is not perfect? For example, in our own country, China, for example, China is currently the country with the most comprehensive industrial capability of the entire industrial chain. But what about Indonesia? Take crude oil products as an example. It may be the first step China can take from crude oil. It can always be extended and more. Hundreds of thousands of products. You can connect the entire oil series. However, for Indonesia, he may only have the first step and the second step. And then there was more that he didn't have. Nope, it means many of his byproducts will also be missing. So if we go local, if you talk about industrial development or something like that, then you might find that you can't find many local ingredients. This has nothing to do with the price, purely because his local industry is not perfect. So you can't find the corresponding product. So in summary, Indonesia is still very dependent on import and export trade. Therefore, many investors in China are now investing locally in the past, developing the local industrial chain, or to complete the local industrial chain because of its own many products, has no capacity. So that's it. You just go there and you can capture the market. The profit in between is huge. And as far as the Indonesian market itself is concerned, Indonesia now has nearly 300 million population. It's the fourth most populous country in the world. So a large population means a large market. Great consumption potential. For us, what about the chemical industry? Same thing. The mining industry in Indonesia is doing very well. It has very rich mineral resources. Our trip this time has passed. The first is to meet some local friends, including our trading partners, or more famous locally, some family friends. Talk to them about the local market conditions. In addition to that, we also went to the local government department. Some policy understanding was carried out. For example, the local Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Industry, and some of the main management of import and export, state-owned company. We went to visit them one by one, gain a good understanding of local policies. We spend a lot of time in Indonesia, stayed for a while. The purpose, of course, is to develop the market, because as we described earlier, because Indonesia is currently a thriving market, and many basic industries are imperfect. So he has more of a chance. What about the purpose of our company itself? I also hope to be in the Indonesian market. Start with a simple trade. Finally, it can be transformed into an integrated industry and trade, able to stay in Indonesia for a long time. Open up this market. So if you see my video, you will also stay in Indonesia. Or friends who are interested in the Indonesian market, you can contact me. Let's see if there is any opportunity for cooperation. And then finally, a little bit of my private goods from Indonesia. Let's talk about my local perspective on Indonesia. Indonesia first. As said at the beginning of the video, equivalent to our domestic just after the reform and opening up, in the early days of reform and opening up. So it's kind of simple. Not like a lot of people in other regions. So treacherous. It's easier to deal with. And we stayed there for more than 10 days. Basically didn't encounter anything. Very unpleasant thing. What about the second one? Because Indonesia itself is a country of 1,000 islands. So it's going to change very rapidly. It might have been sunny for a second. The next second is pouring rain, including myself. I was also taken in. So if you want to go, you can bring an umbrella. The third is, it feels like Jakarta. Indonesia is not a small city, but it's traffic jam. It may be much more serious than in China. On one hand, maybe it's because there are a lot of local motorcycles. The pressure on traffic will be very high. On the other hand, except for the city center, there are no traffic lights in many places. This has a huge impact.